Okay, today we are going to talk about children who are toddlers. This is one of my favorite ages to talk about, and I know you parents are going, oh no, this is the terrible 2 stage and it's difficult and it's frustrating. That it is, but I want to tell you why, because there are some reasons your children are going through this stage. It's a natural stage. It's a developmental stage. Now, I know when you're in the middle of the grocery store and your child throws a temper tantrum, it does not feel like a natural stage. It feels like you are in a place that you do not want to be as a parent. Let me assure you, it's all going to be okay. It's going to be fine. But this is a great stage of life for children. It's an intuitive, projective faith stage. So children are really developing at a quick rate. Their little brains are going at such a fast pace, much faster than yours or ours. The things that are happening in their body are very quick. I mean, just take potty training, for instance. How difficult it is to adjust to going to the restroom from wearing a diaper. We as adults, if we were doing this, it'd take us years to make this adjustment. Little children make it rather quickly. It's just an example of what's happening in their body. I want to talk to you about a couple things, though, that are happening at this age. They're acquiring language. They're starting to talk. They're starting to speak. They're starting to be able to express themselves in this way. Their imagination runs wild. They are very imaginative. Some of them may have an imaginary friend. Don't freak out about that. Go along with it. Play along with it to some level. They're trying to sort this out. They don't know. They are uninhibited by logic. Okay, if you try to reason with them, sometimes it is not going to work because they don't understand logic at this age. It's their first step in self-awareness. This is the first time that they're realizing, hey, maybe what I'm doing is different than what everyone else is doing. They haven't had that ability before. They also have very cultural strong taboos. And what I mean by that is you as a parent are setting the stage for what's right and wrong with them. And that is very important. So think about the things that are non-negotiables for you as a parent. Don't make too many of those because that gets overwhelming to a toddler. But think about the things that are not going to be okay in your house. For my husband and I, disrespect was something that we were not going to tolerate. That was non-negotiable. So we had to set our foot down and make that a boundary for us. Talk through these things, figure out what works for you, but don't make too many taboos. One thing we don't want kids to feel is that everything is no, wrong. That becomes very frustrating, especially to the child who is highly creative. A highly creative child is thinking at such fast paces that they really can outthink us in many ways. They are out of the box people. They're thinking of things, and it is exhausting at times. But I want to encourage you to embrace this part. One thing we don't want to do at this stage is break a child's spirit. And what I mean by that is a compliant child is always easier to parent at this stage. That shifts a little bit later in life, but a compliant child, a lot of times firstborn children are compliant. You can tell them not to do something and they're not going to do it. You can potty train a compliant child sometimes in a day. A child that is not compliant, a child who is very creative and imaginative, that's going to be a whole different story. They're going to want to have some say in how you potty train them. They're going to want to have some input in the rules that they have. That is a great thing. It's an exciting thing. And I want to encourage you parents who think, okay, the things that they're doing now is what we've got to look forward to into their 20s, and this is the kind of adult they're going to be. Not true. They're sorting things out at this stage. They are going to turn into wonderful adults as long as you keep working at it. So do not get too concerned about what you're dealing with as far as what it looks like as an adult. Our youngest son, I used to say, he's gonna either be one of the smartest people in the world and be highly successful, or we're gonna be getting him out of jail. I don't know which. And I can tell you now as a young adult, it is the first. He's a highly creative, but has turned into a wonderful adult. So I spent a lot of nights worrying about that, and it was useless because I should have just been getting my sleep. They turn into wonderful people. Remember, they have a wonderful imagination, and they are continuing to grow. They have a little ability to separate fact from fiction, now from fantasy. So when you're talking about the Bible to children at this age, which we need to be teaching the Bible to 2-year-olds. They grasp parts of the story, but they're not able to really separate it from a fairy tale. All of this is working together in their minds. And so don't reprimand them when they want to bring in some things about Snow White into a Bible story. They're not being disrespectful. They're not, trying to not understand the Bible. They simply just don't because of the stage they are in life. They also follow the beliefs of their parents very strongly at this time. So remember, little ears hear and see way more than we think they do. Their memories are starting to form. They're going to remember things from this period of life. They may be brief things, but they're going to remember things that happened at this stage of life. These are going to be some of their first memories. So think about where you want those memories to be made. The consistency, the repetition is something that they are going to remember. They're going to start to be able to remember people from this period of time. So what we expose them to is extremely important. What we expose them to visually is important. When an infant, you can take an infant into a movie theater and they're not going to retain what they're seeing because they're sleeping through it. When a child becomes a toddler, 2 to 3 years of age, they remember the things. Don't think you can take them into any experience, into a movie, into a concert, and them not retain some of the things that they are receiving from that. So this is an important time of life where we really have to focus on what's good for them and their development. Their representations of God begin to form at this life, and they are based on experiences that they have with people and parents. Establishing a routine for church is very important at this stage of life. By the time they're 2 years old, we want them to be comfortable in their Sunday school class or their Bible study class. We want them to be comfortable with the people that are ministering to them. And repetition helps with that at this stage in life. Now, one thing too that children do at this stage is they can imagine angels or other religious figures in stories as characters in fairy tales. I mentioned that a little bit earlier, but I want you to know that some of their stories that they may give you back after you've told them a Bible story might have all kinds of different images and things in there. Try to help them sort that out, but don't be too heavy on reprimanding them as they are beginning to interpret the Bible. These are the very beginning wonderful stages of kids beginning to take ownership into their own religious experience, and we want to help them with this. At this stage, this is a really fun stage for kids because their eyes get huge and big as we tell them about the wonder of God and His creation. The creation story is wonderful to tell with kids in this age. The 7 days of creation. What happened on the first day? What happened on the second day? What happened on the third day? It's very fun. Kids also love motions. I encourage you to use a lot of body language at this time. They like the animation. They like you to, you kind of feel silly doing the motions with them, but it's an important thing for you to do. They cannot comprehend or grasp things that they will understand as they get older, but it's still important to expose them to these things. There are some great stories in the Bible that I teach with our 2 and 3 year olds, and we have wonderful Sunday school teachers here who I walk by the room and watch them teach, and I actually want to go in because it's such an exciting opportunity. Let them act out some things. For instance, let them get up and march around the room. Let them make trumpet noises. Let them be animated in your exposure of the Bible. This is a really good time for you to start a nighttime routine with your children, a bedtime routine, reading a story to them, prayers before they go to bed. You're establishing some very important routines that really do take hold and really last a lifetime at this stage. They love simple songs. They love songs that are repetitive. There was a show on a couple years ago called Blue's Clues, and one of the things that Blue's Clues did, they repeated the same story 4 days in a row for children. The exact same story. Now, we as adults would not want to do that, but children need that repetition. So kids could watch it 4 days in a row and receive different messages. Children may drive us crazy when they want to repeat a song or repeat a story over and over. It's part of their development. It's part of their learning. It can be frustrating, but it's an important part of their learning. So I encourage you to walk through this. Pictures for children at this age. iPhones are a great tool for us as parents because you can show kids things. They love to see pictures of themselves. Take pictures. Take pictures of other important people in their life. I would even encourage you to take pictures of the caregivers in their life, their Sunday school teachers, so that during the week you can talk to them about it. You can explore with them. Let them express their feelings with you on that. Kids at this stage need lots of room to move around. It's hard for them to want to be constricted. They want to dance, they want to run, they want to jump, they want to do all of those things. This is not a bad thing. It is a good thing. It's exhausting. It takes lots of energy, but this is what they're doing. They are experiencing the world, the wonder, and all of the things that go in it. And so you want to enjoy this with them. I know sometimes this is easier for moms than dads, but dads, come on, get your silly phase on. This is a really important developmental time for dads to connect with kids, and you're going to get on the floor, wrestle with them, play, sing with them, do all of those things, because this is a beginning connection with your children that you're going to want to have. And mostly remember that kids at this age want to explore. They want to explore things. They want to get in the cabinets. They want to see what's behind that door. They want to know what's happening. Let them explore. Help them explore so that they're safe, but let them explore because they are trying to figure out what's going on in life, and you are the perfect person to help them understand and do that. So again, I want to encourage you to have fun with this stage in life, work through it, let them connect. The other thing that's really important is to start socializing them at this age. Let them play with other friends, invite friends over, let them go play with other friends to be away from you a little bit. Put them in environments where they're connecting because they're learning to make friendships at this age. One thing I love to watch a church is when I go by the room and they're forming their little friendships. They're holding hands with another child. They're talking to another child. It's really an important stage for them as we want them to have friendships and relationships for the rest of their life. So I encourage you to put them in environments where they're going to be around other children so that they can learn how to do this. They learn how to share. They learn how to take turns. It's a really important stage for them to go through. There are so many things I could tell you about toddlers. I love toddlers. They are fun. Now I love them because I get to see them at church and then I get to send them home with you and you deal with them on a 24-hour basis. But I just want to encourage you as a parent to really embrace this. You are getting to know who your child's gonna be in a lot of ways. And so learn who they are at this stage in life because it's going to help you a lot when we get to talking about when they're teenagers. If you understand their 2-year-old self, you're going to be able to understand their middle school and high school self much better, and your life's going to get easier and smoother as you do this. So embrace them, know them, and remember, they are born with their own brain, with their own feelings, with their own thoughts. They are hardwired that way. They are not a little clone of us. And so many times when we look at our kids and we see, oh my goodness, they are different than I am, don't move away from that. Embrace that. Get to know them, because I guarantee you, as your kids get older and they think differently than you do, they are going to bring new knowledge and new light to you. And even a 2-year-old can teach us some things about ourselves, about God, and about others that are important for us to know. So let them teach you some things as they experience life in a different way. It'll help you experience some new things in life and enjoy being a parent much more.